Hi, I'm Joanna Lipari with episode 7 of ADL in the time of COVID. As I've mentioned before, I'm not writing these stories out or reading a script. I just want to communicate them to you about the lessons I've learned living these 70 odd years on this planet. And today I want to tell you about a friend named Skip. When I was a young actress, I was always broke. I worked as a bartender, and as a waitress, I was the cash gig economy girl. And I did okay. And there was this guy I met in our apartment building named Skip. He had 3 roommates. He was from Georgia and Florida, and he kind of talked like this. And you know, to a New Yorker's ear, when somebody talks like this, they're automatically stupid. I don't know why we think that. Maybe it's because when they talk like this, they talk really slow. So you think they're slow? But I liked Skip, even if he was a slow Southerner. And we became good friends. And every now and then, I'd call up Skip and say, hey, come on, let's go get a hamburger. And I'd pay with the tips I had earned from the night before. And we were friends for a couple of years when suddenly I had to have surgery. And I couldn't walk. And I lost my job. And I had to live off a credit card. And one day, Skip called me up and he said, let's go for a hamburger. And I said, Skip, I don't have any money. He said, oh, no, this time it's my treat. And so we went out and ordered our hamburgers and fries and a couple of draft beers. And we sat there laughing and talking. And suddenly, Skip slipped an envelope across the table. And he said, you know what, Joe? You've been my good friend for a long time. There's a letter in there, and I'd like you to read it when you get home. And I'm like, oh, come on, Skip. What's with all the suspense? He said, just do what I say. Just once do what I say. And I said, okay. So we finished our burgers and our beers, and we went back to the apartment house. And I went upstairs to my little single. And I opened the letter. And inside was a check of thousands of dollars for my back rent that I hadn't been able to pay. And do you know what the letter said? The letter told me that Skip appreciated our friendship all these years, that actually he was quite wealthy. He only lived, do you hear that airplane? Oh my God, let's wait a sec. Okay, it'll almost be gone. We don't want to ruin the punchline to the story. Live storytelling in the age of COVID in a backyard, right? So the letter said that he wanted me to have this money, that he was actually a very, very wealthy stock trader, and that he lived with 3 roommates because he didn't know anybody in New York when he got transferred, and he didn't want to live by himself. But he could easily afford having bought me hamburgers all these years, and that I was the only person who never cared if he was wealthy or not. And he wanted me to have this money, and he would rip up the check if I didn't deposit it. Well, I sat in my little single room, and I cried with gratitude. And later on, Skip moved away, and he got married and moved back to Georgia and had a bunch of kids. But I got to tell you, you just never know when there's an angel around.